Hey class, this is the overview of programming languages assignment. So last assignment or our first assignment was an intro to programming itself, what programming was, and remember that is simply instructions given to a machine, a computer, a robot. It's the instructions used to perform a task. So now we're going to talk specifically about the languages. So again, we're starting off with a what do you know? What is a programming language? Give some examples. And again, if you don't know, Google it. And I don't expect you to know. So definitely Google the answers and give me what you come up with for the answer here in the what do you know slide. Our learning objectives for this assignment are to distinguish among the three types of programming languages. There is machine, assembly, and high level. Also, we want to compare and contrast languages that are usually compiled and interpreted. So let's jump over to our overview. Again, as you read through some of this, if you see something underlined, highlighted, different color, pay attention to that line, pay attention to those words, or pay attention to that paragraph because something important is being said in and around whatever it is I'm highlighting. So a computer is a machine, remember, that cannot perform a task on its own. It needs a computer program. So what are the three fundamental types of computer programming languages? We have machine language, assembly language, and high-level language. So we'll start off with machine language. That is the most basic. Machine language uses something called binary, and it's the only language that uses binary. Binary is just ones and zeros, ones and zeros. No other number, it's zeros and ones. It uses a combination of ones and zeros to represent information or data. And we'll get into binary later. So again, I don't want you focusing on what binary is. But machine language is your basic language. It's the language that uses binary coding, the ones and zeros, to represent data. So this is what binary looks like, zeros and ones. And then a quick note there at the bottom of this slide. Machine language is the only language that computers can understand. So all the other languages, the assembly language and the high-level language, have to be converted into machine language for a computer to understand. So again, that's highlighted, so might be important to remember. Compiled languages are translated entirely into machine language before use. These are the two different ways that languages can be translated. It can be either compiled, which means it's translated entirely into machine language, or it can be interpreted, which means it's translated on the fly or as the program is running. Those are the two different ways. Assembly language is our next language. It is the more human-like representation of machine language. So again, this part is highlighted, so that is the part you want to remember. Assembly language is the more human-like representation of machine language. And there's an example down here, right? Instead of just ones and zeros, you can see letters, other numbers are being used, combinations of numbers and letters. So not necessarily a human language, but a more human-like language. Next is our high-level language. High-level actually contain English words and phrases. So that's what most programming is, especially JavaScript, Python, C++. Those are the different languages, and they all use high-level, which means they contain actual English words and phrases. So if you look at some of the examples down here, there's actual words there, not just letter combinations of letters and numbers. It says public, it says class, it says hello world. This one over here says print. So that's high level, actual words and phrases. So let's talk about again your questions. You're going to give me 3 fundamental types of programming languages. We just reviewed that. If you don't remember, go back over through the overview or Google it. Again, true or false question here. A matching. So tell me, look at the term and then look at the definition. Is it a compiled language or interpreted language? Again, if you don't remember, go back through the overview. And then tell me what the machine language is, the assembly language, and high level. Match up the definitions down here. Grab them and drag them. All right. And again, if you don't remember, go back through the overview. We'll wrap up with a what did you learn? Let me know what you may have learned from this assignment that you didn't know going into the assignment. And then our Google form review at the end. Again, the same questions all throughout the assignments. Just hopefully, as you do them over and over again, you'll be familiar with the concepts and the questions. Once you're done with the Google form, you are done with this assignment.